walking up St. Anthony to St. Peter Claver Catholic School, watching my father play at Lexington Ballpark. All of my friends, it just, as every time I drive on 94, it's like I remember places along the way, and I completely understand where we are today, but again, those images are still there, and I don't regret, because it's been such a long time, but obviously those images are important to me, and they're ingrained in my mind, my spirit. So it sometimes is sad, because I know the story, and it's difficult to go back and think and watch some houses being taken down or burned down. And just losing friends. So today, coming back, those images are still there, and I know there's always supposedly progression and prosperity. I'm not sure that image is the one that I have.
Right.
Related to the Rondo neighborhood. So a place where you knew everybody knew my family, and I felt totally secure every day. I could go and be out playing and be gone all day long. My parents would never have any concern. I could be a block away and I could hear my dad whistle, and I knew it was time for dinner. And you better get home. So those are times that we don't have today. I think by people today, I've often heard people say that, Concordia is old Rondo, and it is from Lexington to Dale. East of Dale, it takes a whole nother perspective, obviously, of what they call St. Anthony today. East of Western, that actually is the street bed of Rondo, and I think that's important for people to know how much that southern slope was reconfigured by big earth movers and that stuff, and what that devastation was. You need to know where Rondo went originally from Lexington to Rice Street, and what that street bed would have looked like today. I want people to know what was that true history of where Rondo, the street bed, literally was. Personally, I think we have enough parks or green spaces, the traditional places. I think there's some things that they may want to go back and relook at how people today congregate different or have different uses for green spaces. Some of our recent immigrants seem to tend to be more family oriented, and they need more spaces than just one little small bench or one table. And so we built things that don't necessarily aren't in tune with today. I love the idea of a green space, the bridge that would expand that space above the bridge, which is all useless space today. And if you could make that into a green space, what that truly would mean, and what could be on top of that space, and what would be safe, that's just a tremendous idea, because obviously it becomes a whole nother green space and a usable space for people. I hope that the history of Rondo can be passed on to our younger generations, and not so that they know the history, but I think as it relates to people getting along here in St. Paul at this point in time, I think that's valuable. We've got people that are immigrating here, just like African Americans or white people are immigrated here back in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. And so I think to know that history and how we can get along with each other is so important, that we don't repeat some of the the negative things that occurred some time ago. And so I think our history is really important for that reason. I appreciate that Friendly Streets and the people that are working to share more of this history or gathering more information so that you get more ideas about how these projects should be put together, I think is extremely valuable, as opposed to a smaller committee of people and architects making a plan and then saying, here's the plan. I hope that whenever the plan is done or along the way, people will continue to have input into what that's going to be.